Hey folks, Quill18 here, and I can't draft. So welcome to another video for Magic the Gathering Arena. I always do like to disclaimer that while this is not a sponsored video, I've done some recent sponsored work for these guys before. I've always been comfortable with Magic. I've always been comfortable with Constructed. That's always been my jam since I started playing, like, 17,000 years ago. Okay, around 4th edition is basically when I started playing. And yeah, it's always been Constructed. I've tried my hand at a couple of draft tournaments in real life before in the past, and it always went terribly for me. And also when I was playing some Magic the Gathering online. It's just, I don't know, I can't draft, but we're going to give it a try today and see what we can do. Constructed-wise, things have been going pretty well. Platinum Tier 3 so far here in Standard. I did originally start by playing this, like, wolf kind of deck with Oko and things. It was pretty good, and I really like the Night Pack Ambusher, and my love of Night Pack Ambusher eventually morphed into me playing Simic Flash and really having a good time with that. So that's fine, but draft not so much. So we're going to go ahead and give it a go here. I've been doing a bad job of saving up my gold, so we're going to go ahead and burn some gems on this. And yeah, so if you've never played draft before, you'll find out what this is. So basically, what happens is, like, if this was a real life equivalent, same thing would happen. You'd enter into the tournament and you would get 3 packs of Magic cards over here. Oh my. What happens, you open your first pack, you sit at a table with a bunch of other people, you open the first pack, you pick one card, and then pass the rest of the cards to your left. Therefore, you're going to get the remaining cards from the person to your right. And you're just going to keep repeating that until that first pack that everyone opened is completely empty. So you're going to get one card past the left, one card past the left, and so on and so forth. And then at the end, you're going to get past one card, which you're going to have to take. Then you're going to open the next pack and repeat until everything is done. So in the end, now these packs are 15 card packs. So in the end, you're going to have yourself 45 cards that you have drafted from here. And then you're going to build a 40 card deck. Now, you can add as much basic land as you want. So in practice, you're going to be using about 23, 24 cards that you've drafted into your deck. Now, what's interesting is you can, as far as I know, here in Arena, anyway, you can completely change your deck between each game. I think in real life, in typical tournaments, once you have drafted and set up your deck, your deck that you start each match with, I think, has to be the same. But in between games with the same person, you can sideboard, and your sideboard is literally everything else you've drafted. Now, in real life, you would be drafting with other human beings. Here in Magic the Gathering Arena, in these basic draft modes over here, you're actually sort of drafting against bots. So you can take all the time in the world, to make your pick. I think you can disconnect and then reconnect and continue the draft where you left things off. So you're basically, bots are opening other packs and have certain rules about which cards they're going to be grabbing as they pass it to you. So it's sort of simulated that way. So you're going to have all the time in the world to draft, then to make your deck, and then you can just queue up for a game, one game at a time, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So every pack, these are 15 card packs, so they're a little different than packs you buy in Arena. The normal Arena packs are 1 rare, 2 uncommons, and 5 commons. And then with the wild card generation mechanics. Here, these packs are the regular 15 card Magic packs, 1 rare, 3 uncommons, and then the rest common after that. The rare is not guaranteed to be the strongest card in the pack, even though, despite that, a lot of people do tend to often grab the rares, because here's the thing, at the end of the tournament, you still get to keep all the cards that you've drafted. So some people prioritize grabbing the rares just to, like, end up running a profit in the end. In any case, I think Chandra has some real possibilities just in general for us to play. Worst case scenario, I mean, she generates an endless amount of 1/1 elementals. I mean, they do get, sacrificed at the end of your turn. They have haste. I don't know. I think it's probably worth grabbing for a deck in general. Plus, it's a good card to grab. Again, I'm really bad at draft, so I'm going to make about 30 mistakes. Actually, I'll probably make... So we're going to pick 45 cards. I'm going to say I'm going to make 44 mistakes while drafting. and then probably several dozen more while actually playing the game at that point. So the first two picks over here, we don't know what color our deck is going to end up being. We're sort of going to grab a few maybe independently good, strong cards that kind of stand out, and then take a step back and see where we are. We'll always be looking at the rares and uncommons first, before we go to the others, just because they do tend to be a little powerful. See, Herald of the Sun, a 6 mana 4/4 is really not going to see a lot of play in Constructed. Constructed's pretty fast, but in a limited format like that, like this, you do tend to have a lot more time to develop things. Flyers are quite potent. You can put tokens on other flyers. That's good. The Tomebound Lich over here, when it enters battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. So we get a little bit of hand manipulation. The death touch is nice. The lifelink may not matter too much unless we've got something that triggers on life gain. But this is a pretty solid creature here. Now, generally speaking, you're probably going to end up playing more than one color. You usually want to avoid things that has two actual colors in its mana cost. Whether it's, two reds like this or, a black and a blue like this, because you have to be more specific with what cards you have or what mana you have in play. It's less important for something like Herald of the Sun, because you've got, Herald costs 6 converted mana costs, so you've got a lot more time to get that second white. The Cryptic Cave is interesting. We could do that. It doesn't seem terribly useful, though. What else we got? Inspiring Captain, a 3/3 for 4 is certainly solid. When it comes into play, get +1/+1 that turn. If this was a flash creature or something, I'd be really tempted. Just a big 1/6 blocker, Frostlinks. This is not bad. Come into play, tap another creature, and it doesn't untap right away. It gives you a little bit of control. Negate could have some play. Whenever it attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. Now, that card draw is pretty strong. Yeah, removal's really good. Stuff like Growth Cycle is pretty good. There tends to be a lot of, combat between creatures. I'm just wondering if we grab Chandra's Embercat here. A 2/2 for 2 is decent value. It's red, and we might already have red. Tap this to cast other elementals. We may be able to work around that. I don't know. There's also something quite tempting to say about grabbing a Rugged Highland, because it's going to make us a little bit easier for us to diversify our deck, but we don't really know we're going to do those colors yet. So I'm kind of torn. Herald's pretty good as just a giant drop that might just win things for us if we get to 6. It's also uncommon, so I'm a little bit more tempted. But the decision paralysis in draft is so real. So real. I think I'd actually prefer playing Sealed. I have, historically. I haven't had much of a chance to do it in real life, but it's always appealed to me a bit more. So there's probably something in here. Now, I could look up some tier lists, right? MTG 2020 draft tier list is probably not a bad idea to, keep open for myself so I can figure out, what the frick should I be doing? Solid playables, Tomebound Lich, above average cards. Yeah, see, I'm kind of tempted by that. Alright, I'm going to grab the Lich here. We're going to see what develops. There's a good chance we're not going to be playing something. Okay, Dragon Mage is interesting. It's 7 mana for a 5/5 flyer. And every time you deal combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. I have a hard time deciding exactly how this would be played. Diamond Knight's decent if you're going to end up drafting a monocolor deck, but we don't know that's going to be the case yet. Man, oh man, the white flyers is real. Flyers are really good in this format, from what I understand. Again, I'm really bad at this. We don't have any green yet. Feral Invocation is pretty cool, though. I don't know, I don't know. We'll see how that feels when we play it. I suspect it's not actually brilliant. Colorless cards are always nice, because you can put them in any color. Choose a card name, reveal top card of your library. If the card has a chosen name, sacrifice Diviner's Lockbox and draw 3 cards. Activate this ability only time. Okay, so you can keep trying to guess what's at the top of your deck. If I have multiple copies of something, it might be good. Vort's Claw is really potent. Having 1 or 2 of these big drops in draft, I think, tends to often be quite good, because there isn't, infinite amounts of removal, and you do tend to have the time to, drop something and then maybe just win, but we don't have a green yet. Might of the Masses, I don't know, you'd have to have a lot of stuff. If we're going to play some blue for Homebound Lich, counter target creature spell. It needs 2 blue, I don't know. An unsummon might be decent. This enchantment, I don't know, seems a little questionable. We might have some black. That tap ability honestly could come into play with the pacing, but I don't know. Just get a Marauder's Axe. Gains flying until end of play. Use this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Deals 3 damage, target creature with flying, destroy target artifact. I mean, that's really specific. But flying's kind of a pain in the ass in this format. It actually might work out. But I might just grab the Marauder's Axe. And then see if we can slap it on a flyer or something. I don't know. Slap it on the Lich over here, turn it into a 3/3. Colorless. I feel very strongly this is a bad pick, though. But I don't know what the right pick is. The problem is I kind of feel like that about everything I grab. It just feels like I'm doing the wrong thing. I'll grab this just because it's colorless right now. I don't know. Pattern Matcher enters battlefield, may search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be that useful here. If we do keep going blue, I mean, 4/6 for 6, like, I don't know. It doesn't actually fly on its own. I'm actually wondering about Audacious Thief here. Whenever you gain life, opponent loses things. Dual colored land. I mean, black and red could end up being something we develop, and then throw in just like the lightest splash of blue somehow, maybe, and play Tombstone. I don't know. It's only 1 black, which is nice. Is it beefy enough? I like this. The raise the alarm, but I don't think white's in our future. You get a bit more blue here. 3/3 for 4. You know, it's fine. Another Audacious Thief. The Scry is nice because it does let you tweak your deck and find any missing colors you might have. I don't know, or you can just draw more cards. That's another good way of compensating for missing stuff. We got things with Chandra in the name, all right, with the casting the elementals. Now, you're not an elemental. We could maybe look at more of that. There's the Fire Elemental 5/4. Well, tell you what, this one's cheaper, and they're both 2/2s. This does have the crazy good life gain. Throw that in. Maybe we'll end up, I don't know. Maybe I should have grabbed copies of the same guy because it makes it easier to base your deck around something. Return 2 target creature cards from graveyard to your hand. I don't think that's really what we're looking for. Whenever it attacks, gains +1/+0 until end of turn for each elemental you control. It itself is an elemental, which means if I need to, I could help cast it with the Ember Cat. And Chandra makes elementals, so she'll make 2 elementals, so this is effectively going to be a 4/4 in that case. Okay. We got something. I don't think we're going to end up going green or white, although if there's something crazy enough, we might do that. Seasons of Growth is actually really strong. Really strong, but I don't think we're going to put it to good use. Feral Invocation I quite like as well in this format. The Flash, and it's an enchantment, so it sticks around. Duress might actually be a really good power move here. Fairy Miscreant, I mean, a 1/1 flyer for 1 is fine in this format. I don't know if we'll get to use the rest of the ability, but we don't know how much blue is going to go. I suppose we don't know how much black is going to go either, but I don't know. I kind of like Duress. I've always have loved that card in general. And I suspect there's going to be a little bit more black. Scorch Spitter is an elemental lizard red. It fits in very well. The Ripscale Predator, though, could be another big high-end drop. Menace means it's really hard to block. So you need to block with 2. You can't just chump block it. And it could be a little bit of an I win kind of card. No, I think I'm going to go for the Scorch Spitter. Partially because it's an elemental, so it can combo a little bit with the Lava King. But it's also quite speedy. And if we do get more Audacious Thieves and draw more cards, we might end up, Dragon Mage aside, although that may give us a way to reload our weenies, we might actually play a fairly quick little aggro deck. That's the one with the sacrifice. this lets us get our skeleton back, which actually is probably pretty nice. Repeating chump blockers or something like that. Undead Servant enters battlefield. Yeah, for each card named Undead Servant in your graveyard. Maybe, you know what, I'll pick this up because there's nothing really else. If we end up being able to grab a few more Undead Servants, we might be able to do something a little crazy. Diviner's Lockbox, I think, is still not in the cards for us. Could temporarily give things flying. I'll grab it. I don't know if we're going to play it. So we don't have any life gain, so we're not going to do that. Maniacal Rage, though. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and can't block. Yeah, alright. Probably nothing here, and then we end up with a Prismite, which actually we might play. Taps for any color. Hello. God, what the hell? So I've done a couple of drafts in here, and I haven't had any crazy, like, super rare cards or anything like that. Kalia Zenith Seeker. Red, white, black. Well, red and black we're going for. White, I don't know, but we got the Prismite. Flying and Vigilance is really good. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library, reveal an angel, demon, and or dragon among them, put it in your hand, put the rest. Whenever you gain life, we don't really have gain life. I mean, we have one thing, I think, with right there, lifelink, but that's about it. Okay, let's grab this. We might consider, I don't know, how many colors are we splashing? Prismite could help. I was going to say more dual lands, but that's a green one, which we don't need. Or any dual lands. Bloodsoak Altar, pay 2 life, discard a card, sacrifice a creature, make a 5/5 black demon creature token of flying. We don't... Well, I guess I could use this to sacrifice Chandra's elementals afterwards. You still have to discard a card, though. I don't know. Maybe Mask of Immolation, though. Comes into play. It automatically creates an elemental, 1/1 elemental, and attaches itself, and it lets you sacrifice it. It is 2 to equip onto things, which could be a little bit annoying. There's some more lifelink there, only on our turn, but... I feel like we probably won't play the Lich, because we don't have nothing else blue. Keeping in mind that splashing some white would be okay. It only kills a black or red creature. Removal's really strong, but it's kind of specific there. You know what? Maybe we just grab the Fire Elemental here. We're clearly going to have a lot of red, and we do have a couple of things that synergize with elementals. I don't know if there's going to be enough white-black for this. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Another Devout Decree. And lifelink until end of turn. Vigilance, enters battlefield, +1/+1 counter for each other creature you control. I might be able to drop this and have it be fairly big. You are an elemental, but you're blue. Another Lavakin Brawler? Destroy target land. Creatures without flying can't block this. Let's do that. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Not really. That's 2 white, which we don't want. Turn target creature land card from your graveyard to its owner's hand. Gain 6 life. That's actually really quite neat, but we're not going to be doing green. We've ended up with this 1 natural end, but that's not going to be in the cards. Each creature you control named Pack Mastiff gets that, but no. I mean, it's a 2/2 for 2, which is tolerable. Having an Infuriate in the deck, though, or a Shock. Ooh, probably the Shock. There's some appeal to the Prismite, but no. Shock is so good. Plus, it's an alternate art Shock, which is kind of cool. Really good in this format, but no. I don't know if we want 2 Maniacal Rages. I don't know. Attack, attack, attack. I do quite like the flying and first strike here. And it's colorless, so it's easy to cast. I mean, a 2/1 for 4 is pretty poor value, even with flying and first strike, but it's the fact that you don't have to worry too much about the colors. Rugged Highland gives us green, which we're not really looking for over here. I'm wondering about one Infuriate. Because it comes to complete this prize. And if I played one, they're like, oh, does he have more? Does he play around that? It is nice to be able to ping at will. Like, I mean, 3 in ping is fairly pricey. Colossal Hammer. It does cost 8 to equip. Like, 1 to put into play, but 8 to equip that thing is pretty rough. Sacrifice a creature. I mean, maybe we could combo this with Chandra, but we can't expect to have her in play. We do have a decent amount of, like, weenie type creatures, though. Maybe. There's another elemental wizard or lizard. So elemental if we want to keep going on that. There's still another big drop over here. Steadfast Sentry, I mean, if we are going for white, but we don't know. I mean, you're pretty good, but probably not good enough to splash white by itself. I wouldn't mind one more big drop, but no, I'll just grab the Scorch Bitter for now. More Audacious Thief. Okay. Kind of works for me. Dies. Return that card to the battlefield under your control with +1/+1. Yeah, maybe. Green or white. You're not bad. I know, I think we'll put in the Audacious Thief. Sure. Or at least pick it up. We'll see. Right, the Undead Servants. We could pick up a second one. I don't know if I missed one. It's possible. Hardcover's decent. A lot of these things are decent. I actually quite like Glaring Aegis. But no, let's grab that. See if we can get some more Undead Servants. There's another one. Mind Rot's pretty good. The Skeleton's probably decent, but, you know, because, yeah, the more we have... So, I mean, it's a 3/2 for 4, which isn't great value. The first one in particular will be pretty weak. But the second one gives us the 3/2 and a 2/2. And then the third one, if we get it, will generate 2 of those. Maybe we could recycle things. I don't know. We don't really want to remove them from the graveyard, but for removing them to cast, it could be. I like Anticipate. Hell, Moat Piranha's the defender. I mean, we're not really building around that, and yeah. I don't think blue is going to happen. If it's your turn, it has flying. Cutthroat. When it enters battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. I'm not sure we have anything that really makes that work. Destroy target land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. We might just be able to use this for like a bit of a kill or something. Let's consider. We'll get the Prismite. We may or may not play them, I don't know. We've got the Maniacal Rage. We still get that Raptor. I mean, Flying First Strike. If we can get that and put on the Marauder's Axe with it, it's kind of nice. Or we put the Maniacal Rage on it. You know? Just as long as you're increasing its power, it becomes kind of a death machine. Let's get one. Okay, final pack. Shared summons over here. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names. Reveal them, put them in your hand. So it's a rare, so it's appealing to kind of grab in general. I don't think this is a powerhouse rare that we're going to put in any real constructed decks, and it certainly doesn't fit in to anything we're doing over here. Lightning Stormkin. You're pretty good, but the blue splash seems fairly unlikely. Meteor Golem's very expensive and normally not appealing, but it actually might not be a terrible thing to include. Death Touch, Lifelink. Honestly, the Death Touch is kind of like a badass kind of thing. Direct damage. Not from red, which is interesting. Could get another Rage. Note of the Tranquil Cove. Kind of a wimpy first draw. I'm actually curious about the Mind Rot, though. It's a pretty annoying spell to drop on someone. And that's some removal. I mean, it requires something to be tapped, but it's not bad. I don't know how much life this would give us, though. I feel like the Vampire of the Dire Moon is just going to be such a massive threat. Like, defensively, just leave it in play untapped, and you know you're going to kill something, so people are going to be really concerned about what they attack with. Okay, you are an elemental. Enters battlefield, create 2 1/1 elemental creature tokens. Elementals you control gain haste until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, gain 1 life and draw a card. Okay, that's insanely strong. But I don't know if, like, if we'd seen this earlier, we'd have a completely different deck. Because I would have included green to work around this. But now, I don't know. The Bloodsoak Altar. I mean, maybe. It's too bad you can't do this as an instant. You know, something's about to die, so you do that. 5/5 with Death Touch. It's only 1 black. It's fairly easy to cast. There's a Shock, which is really, of course, very good. I feel like I have to grab the Shock. Man, big fatties in Limited are always really appealing to me. Enter the battlefield, renew another creature you control to its owner's hand. Okay, it's 4/4 for 4, which is really good, because this bounce could theoretically be a disadvantage, although there might be ways to work around that, you know, depending on what we're bouncing. But yeah, I don't think we're going to... I think the thing to do is just to grab the Shock here. Well, if we had grabbed more Packmastis... Ember Hauler, it's 2 red, which might be a little tricksy early on. Although it is nice that it can, you know, deal damage directly. More Tectonic Rift? I don't know. I kind of like the idea of 1, because you sort of like blow up a land and, you know, non-flyers can't block, so then you just swing in with everything maybe for a kill. The thing is, there's not really much in this pack for us. I'm not going to get a second Tectonic Rift. Although one of the things with land, like denial or anything like that, or discard, is the more you put in, the stronger it sort of gets. Because killing 1 land doesn't mean much, but if you kill 4 lands over the course of the game, all of a sudden you can really stall someone out. I think I'll get the Ember Hauler. Maybe I'm not putting it in the deck, though. Angel of Vitality. Really cool art on this, like, holy cow. And yeah, pretty decent set of abilities if we were doing life gain or more white or anything like that. There's a second Mind Rot. Plummet's decent in this format too, but did I actually grab the first Mind Rot? No, I didn't. But, ooh, Ember Cat. Nope, never mind. Oh, it even makes a cat sound. Lovely. Heart Piercer Bow, I think, is really good and limited here. So that free damage and kills a lot of things that only have 1 health. I'm tempted a little bit by the skeletons too. Blue or red? No. I think a Heart Piercer Bow is just too good. I might be wrong. Oh, I guess we had a Duress, so we have a few targeted things. The thing with Duress that's nice as well is you get to see their entire hand and work around that. Wins card Crag. So it comes down to, are we including white? Or just a second Heart Piercer Bow, which I think is what we want. Because stacking the Heart Piercer Bows is really, really, really good too. We might grab a Soul Salvage, but there's an Infuriate. I'm actually just wondering about more Maniacal Rage. I don't know. I mean, ideally you want it on something that is not going to die. You know, so throw it on a flyer or something. We're not really well suited to that. I guess we do have the Prismite for a little bit easier color splash. Yeah, maybe I'm forgetting that. Infuriator this. I don't think we get the Reckless Airstrike, especially since we have Shocks. We've got some removal. I mean, this is 3 damage, so we've got Shocks instead. Yeah, so we're not going to be playing that one. Maybe just the 1 Rage is okay, because it can be... It can show up in your hand and not be useful when it comes up. But maybe we'll consider second Infuriate. I don't know. There's a Maniacal Rage. There's another Mind Rot. Just go for a lot of hand denial? I don't think we rift. Skeleton over here. I'll grab the Abomination, because we might want it as one of our high-end drops. Okay. Alright, so there we go. So, ideally, we do want to get this down to 40 cards. I think we're going to have to drop the blue. So we do that. I'm just going to take the islands out of here, too. Redo the balance. Green, now if we take out that, so there we go. We're playing white, black, red. Well, we're not going to put in the Yoked Ox. I'm not sure about the Daybreak Chaplain either. We might leave in a little splash of white for Kalia here. Now, we got some Prismites as maybe one way to help. 3 planes. Thing is, it's such an early drop, like... It is such an early drop, so you really need all 3 mana as early as possible. I mean, Flying Vigilance is so strong. The Dragon Demon... Or the Angel Demon Dragon card mechanic isn't going to do anything for us. Technically, we have a dragon here, but I actually don't think we're going to be playing the Dragon Mage. Although, you know, maybe it's our kill, but... 5/5 flyer. It could be our win here. But potentially this could too. I don't know. Well, let's keep trimming and consider what we might not care about. I think we drop the Ember Hauler. I think we drop the Marauder's Axe here. And, okay, let's consider. If we drop both Prismites and drop Kalia, okay, let's assume no white over here. I mean, the Anvil Rot Raptor is kind of nice with the Marauder's Axe. And the Marauder's Axe also, I guess, is kind of nice maybe with things that attack all the time, but it might just be a little slow. But did we only ever grab that one Mind Rot? I guess we did. I'm not convinced about this one. You could also attack with flying. One Rift, maybe. What are we at here? We want our deck as small as possible because we want to draw the quality stuff as reliably as possible. So, I mean, maybe I should do the opposite. Maybe I should strip the deck and then just add stuff sort of slowly at that point. I kind of like these ones. Oh, we're going to get rid of the Airstrike. Mm-hmm. We've got enough cheap stuff. This Audacious Thief is actually kind of... Okay, we don't want the Barony. I'm actually wondering about getting rid of the Mind Rot. It does seem like speed and aggro is kind of our thing, and that doesn't really combo well here. I think the Undead Servant is just such huge value. It's not very fast, but it can give us such value. I don't know if we need the Rift. I'm going to drop you after all. 46. I mean, you're an elemental, What about the Abomination? I mean, these are sort of anti-speed. But they're so nice. I guess with the Undead Servants, the question is, do we keep any or drop all of them? I think they're good. I mean, do we need these thieves? I don't know, maybe we do drop these. Get rid of you. I'm gonna get rid of the Dragon Mage. How else can we thin this? I mean, I want to keep Chandra, obviously. Yes. I'm actually wondering if the Scorcher's not the way to go. I mean, it is effectively 3 elementals. Right? Itself and 2 extra 1/1s that all have haste. If I have a lava akin brawler, all of a sudden it's a lot of damage. Do we just get rid of the raptor? And with the first strike and the flying, it feels like you do this and you throw Maniacal Rage on it, and then all of a sudden you're laughing. Drop down to 1 Infuriate. Like, it's just sort of a win condition, you know? I'm partially wondering if the Ember Cat's not worth it. I think it's not. I mean, it's an elemental, and then helps the cast elementals, although our elementals aren't that expensive, and if I'm tapping this to get mana, then I'm doing that instead of attacking, and I feel this is fairly tempo-horrific. I think we remove you two. Now, the skeletons aren't that tempo, but they're not bad. A 1/2 for 1. And, you know, being able to return it to our hand gives us something to do when we have excess mana later on. I still think this has got such potency to be able to screw up another player. And I think the bow is just really good in this format. I don't know what to cut for the last card. I mean, I could play with 41. There's nothing that says you can't. But again, the fewer cards you have, the more likely... You know, if we're going to play with the Undead Servants, we want to make sure to draw them, like, back to back to back. You know, I don't have any mechanics to dig to find these more reliably. I don't have anything that self-mills myself and maybe puts them into the graveyard. I don't have any way to, like, return, like, the 4th Undead Servant, you know, back to my hand or into play over and over to trigger its effect. You know what? I'm going to cut that so then I can add 2 cards back in. Maybe I put in the Ember Cats again. Let's do this and see how it goes. So, there you go. That's going to be the deck, at least for game 1. I can make some changes, as far as I know, in between games. Let's see what we can do with this. I have no idea if it's going to work at all. I'm bad at draft, but stay tuned for next time. Bye-bye, folks.